right, so for what sold on eBay over the weekend is Sunday. It's actually Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to any of the fellow mothers out there. But anyway, this is how I spend my Mother's Day. Have 15 or so orders to pack up from Saturday, so just like today and yesterday, because I packed up all the orders from Friday on Friday to ship out Saturday. So these are all just from what sold in the last 2 days, so not even 48 hours. Did a lot yesterday and quite a lot today too. So everything is here except for one item, which is too big. I'm not going to pull it out. It's a antique quilt. Actually, I'll pull it out at the end. But I do have this one. This just sold like a few minutes ago, so got it before I was packing stuff up. So it is a vintage trucker hat, luckily never used, picked up at an auction with a whole bunch of other hats. I think I paid like $16 for this big tote full of hats. I mean, it was like a lot. I think there were well over like 50 hats in there. Not all of them were worth selling, but I listed probably about 25 different hats. This one was one of the ones I wasn't even going to bother selling, but then I had listed another one and it sold really fast that was similar. So I was like, well, okay, if that one sold, so maybe these will. So I listed this only $9.99, but considering I probably paid like 25 cents, that's pretty good. And it sold within like 24 hours, so probably priced it too low because it's like brand new. Some vintage porcelain thick roses. These sold for, I think they were on a discount, so I think $21 for these. They were also from an auction where I purchased a whole bunch of things that were in a closet. Boxes full of glassware mostly, which wasn't all that impressive, but I did pull out, I think I only paid like 20 something dollars for this whole entire closet full of stuff, and these were in there, so 21. And I've got a whole bunch of other stuff I've probably already sold from that, so I probably paid $1 for these when it's all said and done. And then this is a nursing bra that we got in an estate sale. I probably paid like $4 or $5 for this. It's new with tags. It's actually very expensive to buy it new, but it sold on a 25% off. It only sold for 18, so not that great, but you know, it did sell, so there's that. And somebody can use it, and they got a really good deal. This I got it in a garage sale, one of the community-wide garage sales. It really sucked, but I did manage to find this. Brand new, unused, vintage Disney Winnie the Pooh baby book. And it sold for $24, and I got it for $1 at a garage sale, which I had to drive a really long way for, so probably ended up costing me more than that. I only really think I got like 4 or 5 things out of a whole day full of sales. It was so many baby clothes. But anyway, vintage Tupperware in a really rare color. I don't think I've ever seen this. It's probably from the 90s, I was gonna guess, from the coloration. Mauve or rose colored. This sold for $24. I got the whole set for $1 at an estate sale with a whole bunch of other Tupperware that actually sold for better. That was just something I just found. It was a whole set. There's 3 pieces in there. Well, there was probably 4 originally, but there's 3 there. This little Fisher-Price activity set sold for, I think, $15. Not crazy money, but this was also part of an auction where I bought a whole bunch of toys out of this attic, and this was just in there. I waited a while to list it because I didn't know if I was going to bother selling it or not, but I figured, you know, it has sold, so I listed it, sold it for $15. That's pretty good considering I probably paid like 25 cents as part of this auction. And then, sorry. Alright, so sold some Brooks. These are Run Disney Brooks. These were actually mine. Got them as a Christmas gift. I wore them one time and they killed my feet. I love Brooks, but not this one. These shoes, they were not for me. They did something to my arch that was not good, so sold them for 150. I mean, they were a gift, so that's pure profit, I guess. Then this has been for sale for a while. Got this probably January, I think. It's a little high-end Christmas ornament. It's called Jennifer Murphy. It's a mouse in a slipper. It's a cute little felt ornament. I sold it for $24. Kind of weird to sell. I think it was on a discount. So I sold it for $24 on 25, like 20% off. I think it was on part of that, my 20% off sale. So I think I paid, it was in a whole box full of stuff that I paid $8 for. So with as much stuff that was in there, which was like a ton of Anna Lee dolls, which I have not listed yet, but I listed a few of the higher end items that were in there, like decorative items, Christmas stuff. So this and a few other pieces. So probably paid $1, max $1 for that. Sold it for $25. And then these I've been listing I bought these at an auction. A huge amount of vintage airline bags, which I kind of love because I love little miniature stuff. So I knew that there was going to be little miniature perfumes and stuff in there because these are first class bags from the probably 90s, if I was going to guess. So, and from the age of the person whose estate it was in, he was traveling within the 90s and 80s. So 80s, 90s. Actually, this one I think probably might even have been from the 70s. So anyway, these sold for $24. And granted, I bought it at an auction, bought a whole huge tote full of them, and I've listed probably 50 of them. So probably paid 25 cents for these. Got these in the middle of winter when nobody wanted to go out, so that's why I got such a good deal. And then this I just got like 3 days ago from an auction. Bought a whole bunch of bats, which I think I showed on a previous video. This one is rare, 1939. It's from the auction where I got the steamer trunk. This was in the lot of bats. So there's 4 of these from 1939. This one I listed for $175 because there were so few of them available. I've seen one sell, and it was like 5 years ago. Listed it for $175. Ended up taking an offer of $125 because I literally have 4 of these. So I paid $6 for this whole lot of bats. I have 4 of these, 2 other vintage bats, one of which I will sell. The other one is kind of in really rough shape, so I'll probably put it in the garage sale. But so $6, I have 4, so I paid like $2 for this. Not even, $1.50. Sold it for $125, and I still have 3 more to sell. This was also part of that. I think it was another auction, online auction. It was in with a lot of other toys where I bought a Sesame Street toy box that looks like a bus. I just sold that on Facebook Marketplace for $40. I had purchased the whole lot for 30 something, and this was in the lot. It was some boxes plus the toy box plus some boxes that were full of toys. This was in there, so probably paid like $2 for this. It sold for $27. And the other thing was a quilt, so I'm gonna get that out and I'll show you that. This is the quilt. It's a beautiful applique quilt, handmade. It's actually a tree of life. You can't really see it very well. It's a beautiful applique. I think it was dated like I want to say 1988. Maybe it wasn't this one. I think this one may have been from the 70s, like 1970 something or early 80s. It's signed by, or it was made for someone's daughter. Handmade, hand quilted, probably machine quilted, but hand stitched. I was also on another auction where I bought a whole closet that was full of linens. This I couldn't see in the picture. I literally had no idea this was in there. It was in a bag, like a big clothes bag. It was full of quilts. See, there were five quilts in this bag. They were all handmade, all by the same woman. Mostly all applique. They were all applique. There was a sunbonnet Sue in there, which was the only one that had some damage. The rest of these are like immaculate. They're so beautiful. But anyway, this one sold for $150. Took an offer. I had it listed for $199. Took an offer $150. I paid, I think, $8 for the whole entire closet full of stuff. And again, this is unusual because this was in the middle of winter where nobody wanted to go out. So I got some stuff like dirt cheap. So anyway, I think this was also January, maybe December when I got this. It actually turned out to not be a bad day when I went to get it, so it wasn't that bad. But anyway, sold it for $150. So this was the most expensive thing I sold this week. Although the bat is pretty cool too. And it sold really fast. This actually sold pretty fast too. I've had these for a while, but I just had enough sunshine to open up our windows and get pictures of these on the bed. They're not my favorite thing to sell. I actually didn't even know these were in there, so it was kind of like I just ended up having to sell quilts. I love them myself personally, but not this style. I like antique quilts, not so much vintage. But this one is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful quilt. And from these are like little mushrooms kind of, but they're not. They're on a plant, so they're not mushrooms, but maybe poppies or something. I don't know. But they have that little fabric right there. Looks very 70s to me, so it was probably late 70s, maybe early 80s when this was made. And I don't think it was ever washed. I actually washed it because it was, our washer overflowed, and this was in the basement. Sitting on the floor with other ones in a bag, but the bag ended up getting wet somehow anyway, even though it's like plastic bag. So they all got wet, so I had to end up washing them. So anyway, I had to wash it, or else it had never been washed. So I took it out and had it washed. Took pictures of it the other day and listed all 5 of them. So anyway, so this was the first one to sell. So we did pretty good. Not a bad weekend for Mother's Day. Usually holiday weekends aren't the greatest. Even made quite a few sales today. I think like 4 or 5 today. So picking back up after a really slow March. So I have, April. March and April. March was actually really good. April not so much. After we went on vacation, the store kind of slowed down, but it's picked back up. So anyway, if you list, keep it listed, ship quickly. The sales come even though I don't have everything promoted. Anything that I have listed within the last 30 days, I do not promote until it's been listed for 30 days, and then I have it automatically set to promote it at like 3%. So not a huge amount of promotion. With as much fees as eBay charges, 3% is all I'm going to do for promoting anything, no matter what they say. Anyway, so thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a blessed day.